An unimaginable horror. Two college students held captive and tortured by masked men in what they assumed was a random attack. When they finally made out alive, they learned that they had been targeted. The reasoning behind it led to more disturbing revelations. ESPN's Tisha Thompson brings us this report.
You recording, homie? I'll get your boy.
It feels like a scene from a horror movie.
Torture. Stupid.
They were gloating.
You the wrong one, please.
But this nightmare is real life. Two football players from the University of Rochester held captive and tortured.
They started shooting everywhere.
They said, we don't want money, we want blood.
How do I survive?
They were targeted in a violent plot for revenge for a drug robbery they had nothing to do with, leaving two young men fighting for their lives. Nikko Coleus began his college career full of hope. In 2012, he enrolled at the University of Rochester to follow his two passions, football.
I love football. It's my favorite sport.
And piano. Playing for the school's Division III football program and also studying at Rochester's renowned Eastman School of Music.
Kind of just fell in love with it and turned out to be one of the greatest experiences and decisions that I've made to attend.
But everything changed for the 6'1", 215-pound defensive end the winter of his senior year. It was Friday, December 4th, 2015. Nikko's close friend and teammate, who asked not to be named, told him they had been invited to a party by a girl he met on Facebook, 19-year-old Samantha Hughes, and her 20-year-old best friend, Leah Gigliotti.
He was like, let's go do it, you know, let's go be with these girls. And it didn't seem like that bad of an idea.
Had you ever met either of these girls before?
No.
But when they pulled up to this house at 22 Harvest Street, there wasn't a party.
We followed the girls in the side door. The first thing that I smelled was just like urine and feces, and it was totally disgusting. And I sat down on this leather couch, and the next thing I know is 5 to 10 masked men in all black just come out with bats and pipes and guns. They're just screaming and demanding things, and the lights go black. I got up and ran as quickly as I could, made it halfway across the room. I got shot point blank in my left leg, and I got shot in my right leg, in my right calf. My femur was broken in half. They dragged us into the bathroom, leaned us up against the walls, and duct taped our hands and legs together.
I'm in this.
You in this?
Video?
There's a video.
You recording, homie?
I'm recording.
The masked men then started recording this cell phone video of their attack.
You run with the on the wrong one, please. Show the window. I'll do anything.
I was pleading for my life, and I was saying that I would do absolutely anything in my power to give you anything that you want.
Over the next 3 hours, the men in the video would use this rifle, metal pipes, rebar, and this iron to physically and sexually assault Nikko and his teammate.
What is going through your head?
I had no idea who these people were. I had no idea why this was happening to me and like where we were. And I didn't know what was going on. I was so confused.
He ain't got nothing to do. He just start running.
Yo.
Look at your boy.
I went black for like 2 seconds, came back, and just like the amount of blood that was like dripping down my face and like covering my body, I was just so overwhelmed. I was pushing myself through to like not give up and not close my eyes because I didn't want to die.
As the sun began to rise the morning of Saturday, December 5th, 2015, Nikko and his teammate had been held captive for nearly 12 hours. Back on campus, their roommates had reported them missing, but Nikko's terror was far from over. His captors started demanding money.
They were holding me at gunpoint the entire time.
I really need the money now, so there's no way that I could get the $1,500 just transferred over to the debit card.
It's impossible to move money on the weekend.
Okay, that's fine. I guess I'll just call back Monday.
Forced to wait, they turned to Niko's ATM cards. In this surveillance video, you can see a man in the back seat wearing the same white skull mask as the man in this cell phone video. This is 26-year-old Lydell Strickland. Prosecutors say Strickland tortured Niko for his PIN numbers and withdrew more than $5,000 at different machines throughout the weekend. Evidence photos show he used the money to go on a shopping spree: a $799 leather jacket, shoes, pants, and a pair of $28 jeans from Marshall's. Police, who were scouring Rochester for Niko and his teammate, spotted the strange activity popping up in Niko's bank accounts.
We were concerned that Monday that money would be moved, the suspects would get it, and the absolute intent was once they got the money from that account that these kids would have been killed.
Police zeroed in on Leah Gigliotti and Samantha Hughes because Hughes was the last person to communicate with Niko's teammate. Detectives say they brought the two women in for questioning, and it went on for 14 hours.
There were hours and hours of lies until finally towards the end, we started getting some details which led us to 22 Harvest Street. I'd made the decision I was going to have the SWAT team on standby.
Sunday, December 6th, 2015. 40 hours after they were captured, the SWAT team moved in on 22 Harvest Street.
It was just shocking. I mean, the whole house like shook. I thought they were burning down the house, but in reality, it was actually the SWAT team that was detonating entry into the house to save us.
Oh my God.
The blast was captured by a neighbor's cell phone, shattering the front door. The SWAT team moved through the house, rounding up suspects, freeing Niko and his teammate. The two of them were rushed to the hospital, where Niko underwent emergency surgery.
I had 3 to 4 blood transfusions. They put a titanium rod through my femur, attaching it with screws in my knee and hip. They surgically removed glass from my eardrum and scalp and skull.
Niko spent 25 days in the hospital. After it was all over, the police pieced together the motive for the brutal assault. Niko's teammate, who survived the ordeal with him, was mistaken for this player, Rochester's star linebacker, Isiah Smith.
What is clear, he was involved in drug dealing. What is clear is that he set up a violent drug robbery on campus.
Prosecutors say Isiah wanted to steal 4 pounds of marijuana from drug dealers he knew. So he planned a robbery inside the apartment where Niko's friend and teammate lived, arranging to have the drug dealers attacked with a hammer.
This is what I'm doing when they take 4 pounds from a This right here.
In retaliation, friends of the drug dealers went after Niko's friend and teammate instead of Isiah.
Isiah, do you have any comment?
No comment from Isiah.
Isiah Smith was sentenced to 13 years in prison for burglary, robbery, and assault in connection with the drug heist. The two women who lured Niko and his teammate to 22 Harvest Street were each sentenced to more than a dozen years in prison after agreeing to testify against the attackers. All of the men in the cell phone video also went to prison for Niko's kidnapping and torture, including Lydell Strickland, who laughed when a judge sentenced him to 155 years.
I hope and wish that the day would be in jail forever.
After leaving the hospital, Niko went back home to Chicago. The University of Rochester allowed him to graduate without returning to campus.
Can you sleep through the night?
Yeah, I mean, at first it was definitely hard. You know, night times and being alone and in like crowded areas, definitely like harder things for me.
Determined to rehab both his mind and his body, Niko joined more than 27,000 people in Chicago to run his first road race since the attack.
Runners set!
Just moving forward and trying to forget about the past and focus on positive, good things.
Niko, all right, Niko!
I made the conscious decision to live, survive, and overcome the challenge I was faced with. And that's exactly what I did.
For Nightline, I'm Tisha Thompson in Chicago.
Our thanks to Tisha for that report.